What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Lesser Athletes. My name is Chadwell, and today, like always, an interesting video for you here on the channel. Today is who will dethrone all the current champions. Now, to me, after SummerSlam, which I thought was going to be a reset on all the champions, I think instead, it wasn't a reset on champions. It was more likely a reset on contenders and people who would go for champions, in my opinion. Now, I do want to say for one of them, I'm still questioning a lot. Actually, a lot of them. I'm still questioning a lot. But today we're going to talk about it, and let's get started because usually these are longer videos. Who will dethrone Cody Rhodes? I actually have a video talking about this. You should check out that video because I think there's 5 guys that I would all say has a great chance. I am going to put 2 people just here that were my top 2. I would throw in Punk, Roman, and there's somebody else I'm forgetting into that top 5. Randy, I think it was, in that top 5. I think, personally, Drew McIntyre should have the best chance to get this. It makes too much sense. He's the best heel, in my opinion, right now. Maybe Gunther's up there for best heel. Excuse me. But really, I think Drew McIntyre should get the WWE Championship. Now, they are running this insanely early. Like, insanely early. Which could be 2 things. 1, it's a first challenger to start off and kick off this reign to be really good. 2, they're going to start him early so later on Drew McIntyre comes back and wins it. Dark horse here is Gunther. Now it's not in my WrestleMania predictions. I have not even one of these 2 going against him in WrestleMania. I am thinking in my head, could we see a Gunther retire John Cena, then go to the Royal Rumble, win the Royal Rumble, and then go and defeat Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania? Tell me that's not something that you don't see. But that is here for Cody Rhodes, but please check out that video. Tiffany Stratton's a crazy one. Let me first adjust my laptop so I can look at it better while I'm doing this video. Here's the thing with Tiffy. I really thought she was losing with Jade. And now because she didn't, I'm starting to believe, could she still lose it to Jade? I think that's a big possibility in who I'm going to say. But I think there's a better possibility that more than likely she's going to hold on to this championship till maybe next WrestleMania. Maybe in the middle. Sometime around there. And then Jade Cargill is going to go for World Heavyweight Champion and they have the Big 3 story. Like after SummerSlam, I would say that's when the start of WrestleMania season starts hitting. And so, or at least, unless it's like a middle of a storyline. So yes, I have Jade Cargill here, but my dark horse is going to be Liv Morgan. Now, video will come out soon, but because Jade Cargill won Queen of the Ring, and because Jade Cargill lost, I have a new idea for Royal Rumble. I've always been saying that Jade Cargill is going to win it and go against Bianca Belair, and you know, my stuff was kind of lining up. I think when you think about it, you could have had Naomi win, cash in, which a lot of this could change because Naomi might vacate the title supposedly. What could happen is Naomi wins. Naomi then gets cashed in on. Naomi wins. Bianca and Naomi gets run through. Bianca wins the championship. Then Jade wins the Royal Rumble and goes against Bianca. But here's the thing. She won Queen of the Ring, which makes it, in my opinion, hard to give her Queen of the Ring and Royal Rumble. Maybe that's the way they go, but I don't see it. I think more than likely it could be a Liv Morgan winning the Royal Rumble. And if Liv Morgan wins the Royal Rumble, I don't think she'll go after a Naomi or a Bianca. I think who she'll go after is truthfully a Tiffany Stratton. Now, could someone else have the title? Yes, but it would have to be a babyface. And I think when Liv Morgan comes back, she is going to become a babyface. So I have Liv Morgan here, and I think it makes just too much sense in my opinion. Up next is Solo Sikoa. I hope Jacob Fatu's done with this whole Solo Sikoa thing. Not likely, maybe. I'm recording this actually the day of Friday Night SmackDown, so we'll see what happens with that. But Solo Sikoa, in my opinion, is a huge, and I mean huge contender to hold on this title for a little bit, then maybe lose it later on in life against somebody like who I have here. But then again, I keep just thinking about it, and I'm like, in my head, Jacob Fatu could easily just win this title again. And if there is that September PLE, it could be there. I have Jimmy Uso. I really do believe Jimmy Uso is destined for a singles title run. And I think, yes, they're going to have to build him up a little bit for this to actually become true. But Jimmy Uso could really win this solo title from Solo Sikoa, and it makes sense. My dark horse here, though, is Damian Priest. There just hasn't been anything with Damian Priest. I think maybe he'll get done with the Aleister Black stuff, win it from Solo Sikoa as a babyface, and then maybe Aleister Black wins it on in the future. That's kind of what I hope. Don't know if we'll actually fully see that. Next up is Julia. So Julia's title reign, I am believing, is going to be a little longer than what most U.S. title reigns have been so far for the women's division. I hope she holds it till WrestleMania, because I think Alexa Bliss is going to take it off of her because she's so over babyface. Maybe she does turn heel and go against Charlotte Flair. I hope that doesn't happen because she's so over right now, where you could really put the U.S. title on her and it'll be like, okay, U.S. title means something. And I think Julia holds this till WrestleMania, loses at WrestleMania, and gives it to Alexa Bliss after they're done with the tag team titles. Dark horse for me, though, it's going to be Io Sky. Maybe there's something where Io Sky goes to SmackDown, Io Sky wins it off of Julia, and that's how you kind of convince people she's the main eventer that goes after. Just another thought, but I don't know if I fully see that one, though, because I think there's going to be other things to happen for Io Sky when it comes down to WrestleMania. Up next, we have the Wyatt Six. Now, I really thought the easiest and best way for them to lose these titles was like how at SummerSlam, where it's a ladder match and they lose it, because ultimately I don't want them to get pinned, because they're the scary aspects of things. Not getting pinned is going to actually help them more than hurt them. So that's how I thought it was going to happen, but I think they're going to build them up for a long time and maybe have actually a longer reign than most in this division. And then maybe what happens is Wyatt Six lose these titles to a over babyface group, because Wyatt Six kind of heel right now, and that's going to be Fraxium for me. I just think Fraxium is going to win these titles. I think it's more likely than not them than any other team, because they haven't got the titles before. They're a young team. They're a babyface. Makes all the sense. I have Mercy Machine Guns because they're also like the veteran babyfaces, but I really do believe it's Fraxium and nobody else. Up next, we have Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. I think it's going to be the Kabuki Warriors because they're more heelish and maybe they win it off of them. But I could see a way where we have this. Truthfully, I think this is where we're going also. And I think people have theorized this before, so I'm not going to act like I'm like cooking or anything. And it is Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Now, this would be an awesome tag team, and I think it would be an insane tag team to have, where it's Flair and Bliss against Rhea and Io at some PLE. They go against each other. Io and Rhea win it, but I don't think they have it for long, because I think the Kabuki Warriors, who are heels now, are starting to become heels, but I think they'll be heels when they go against them, will win it off of Io Sky and Rhea, and Io will kind of not turn on Rhea, but will kind of get mad at Rhea, which will lead to their WrestleMania. My dog just made some crazy noise, which will lead to their WrestleMania 42 match one-on-one against each other that I'm assuming is going to happen because of all the hints. So I think that's the case, and I think that's most likely what's going to happen now with how they're setting up this tag team division and how they're setting up the future with these two. Up next, we have Obafemi talking about NXT. Not going to change much, because I think until after Heatwave, I might change some stuff up. But for now, I think it's Obafemi is going to lose to Javon Evans at some point in WWE. I think more than likely it will be Obafemi, Javon Evans, maybe Stand and Deliver, and that's where it'll happen. Maybe it's earlier than that, like Vengeance Day. Maybe this is the Iron Survivor. We'll see. Jasper Troy's my dark horse, but I think they're starting to pull back a little bit on Jasper Troy from that hot run and what I expected from him. But I really do think it's Javon Evans, and I've been saying Javon Evans. JC Jane, I still think it's going to be Jordan Grace. I think she's too over. It makes a lot of sense. I think she's going to hold it for a little bit longer than what people expect. And then I have Blake Monroe here, because in my opinion, Blake Monroe is one of the most, new flavors of the month. JC Jane will say that I think people want to have a good title reign, but I think it could be Jordan and then Blake Monroe winning it. Up next is Ethan Page. Who do I think Ethan Page will lose to? I am going to stick with everything I've been saying. Miles Bourne is the guy for me. I really do believe over Tavion Heights, I think Miles Bourne makes way more sense to get that title because, truthfully, he's a little bit more over, and I think I just like him more as a chance to win it off of Ethan Page. Dark horse, Javon Evans, because truthfully, I've been saying for a while Javon Evans deserves a title run here soon. They just haven't had the opportunity to give it to him. Up next is Sol Ruca. Still thinking Zarya. Maybe there's something with her turning on Sol Ruca. Sol Ruca goes main roster. Zarya stays back. Dark horse, Jada Parker, because I just think the heel Jada Parker with a bayface Sol Ruca would make a lot of sense. And then maybe that's how you spin off Sol Ruca and Zarya. Just a thought. Hank and Tank. Now they have a match, so it makes sense that this could happen. I have nonstop been saying this. Nonstop. And I've also said the calling, but I think it's Dart State. For sure, probably Dart State. Next is the Raw. Now, this is the first time I'm doing this. Man, I have switched back and forth on my predictions on who will dethrone Seth Rollins so many times. All the predictions I had in the video, which you should check out, I still believe is true. I think there's 3 to 5 people that make a lot of sense. 3 make more sense, 2 could not. It's just like Roman and LA Knight. I don't see them giving the title to LA Knight. It makes sense. Don't see them happening. Roman, it would be so hypocritical if they gave it to Seth Rollins. Or to Roman Reigns, because he said it's a second place trophy, which has killed that title. And also, I just don't think Roman would want the title. I think he wants Seth Rollins, and I think you can use the title to create another different storyline. So, this is how I see playing it out. I'm not going to talk about the dark horse. I'm going to talk about really who I think. I think they're going to keep running this story with CM Punk, LA Knight, Sami Zayn in the mix, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, all wanting their hands on Seth Rollins. And ultimately, maybe Jay and LA Knight and maybe Sami gets defeated a lot. And I think what's going to happen is that it's going to be Punk and Seth, Saturday night's main event in December. And Seth is going to lose to CM Punk with Roman Reigns interfering, or it could happen before or after Royal Rumble, right before Royal Rumble or after Royal Rumble, and Seth loses to a Roman Reigns, interference, and one of these 2 men in those matches will win the championship because of that, which will set off a Seth versus Roman at WrestleMania, and then you have Punk and Knight at one of them with the title going into WrestleMania against somebody. Now, do I know who could probably go for that title then? No. I just don't know. I think it should be Punk to probably take it, and then he has a actual story with somebody at WrestleMania, but my God, I don't know. I really don't know. Up next is Naomi. I'm scared she's going to vacate this title because there's rumors about something personal happening in her life. I'm not going to go and start saying what's going to happen because I don't want to just throw up a theory, whatever. They said she's medically not cleared, and if it's true, then she's going to be gone for a long while. I have to say that if she vacates, I think this person would win the title, and so that they can continue a story for the future. Or maybe somebody like a heel would win. Oh my God, imagine a Roxanne Perez and then the baby face of this wins. Or they give it to Roxanne Perez because it's a vacated title, and then that's the Liv Morgan story. Anyways, I think it's going to be... I have my Dark Force first. Or that's fine. That's fine by me. Rhea Ripley has been somebody because she's a babyface and so over. I don't entirely believe that anymore, but I think when you look at the babyface aspect of everything, it makes a lot of sense for her to win, and I think that's not a shock to say. I really do believe it's going to be Bianca Belair. The minute Naomi cashed in, the next hour, I was making a Dethrone Naomi video, and I immediately said, it will be Bianca Belair. Everyone thought that Bianca would go for Jade Cargill, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me because I thought... they're both baby faces technically right now. You would wait a little bit before anything like that happens. I thought it made sense that Bianca Belair would go for Naomi because Bianca Belair said, "You can't wait into my house. I hate you." Blah 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 blah. And then you have Bianca, Naomi, which we haven't seen, with Bianca winning the title, setting up something for the future, which is going to be my WrestleMania 42 predictions that you should watch. So, if she vacates the title, maybe Bianca wins this. Maybe it's a heel, and then Bianca wins it later. Just a thought. Up next, Dominic Mysterio. Who do I think? I really think the dark horse is going to be John Cena. Why am I on this dark horse thing for again? I think ultimately Dominic Mysterio, John Cena should be a match that happens during this retirement tour now that he's babyface. I would love it for the IC title, and then that's how actually Dominic loses the IC title. So he gives it back to, he gives it to John Cena, makes him a Grand Slam champ, and has an IC title reign for a little bit. Who I think though, I think it's going to be AJ Styles, and I bet they announce the match next Monday when I'm recording this. It's the Friday night in Boston, so I bet they're going to announce it sooner rather than later. With AJ Styles winning the title, then maybe AJ versus Cena at Crown Jewel. Just a thought. I could see it. Truthfully. Up next is Becky Lynch. I think it's going to be Bayley still. I just think that Bayley might turn heel, and that's how she wins. And then you can set up a lot of storylines there. Or she's just a cracked out babyface. But my dark horse has been Stephanie Vaquer for a little bit now, because I think honestly as a babyface she's going to be really over and go against her. Another dark horse, maybe Liv Morgan comes back and she doesn't actually win the Royal Rumble, but instead she goes after the IC title with Becky Lynch. Could see that as well, but I really do believe that it's going to be Stephanie Vaquer or Bayley. I don't see Lyra challenging, obviously, and I just don't see any other babyfaces really going and getting that title. So that's the two for me. Up next, the Judgment Day. This was my original prediction. The minute they won, I had even the picture of them when they won, when I just made the video. This was my original prediction before anybody else I saw said this. I need to say that for a fact. You can check the dates. Video prediction. This is my original. Then the Seth Rollins angle happened. Then I'm like, well, they won't do it anymore. Duh, because they're not going to give Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed tag titles. This happens. And then what instead happens is a Seth Rollins injury angle. So now I'm going back to my original. I think it's going to be Braun and Braun winning. That's who I thought at the beginning. I said there's no one here in Raw that makes sense to go after Judgment Day. I think they're going to give Braun and Braun the chance to win the tag team titles. And then when they do, and probably entering Survivor Series, they're going to be drenched in gold. Yeah, the heavyweight championship, the tag titles. Maybe there is, and I also said in that video, maybe someone debuts for them, and those are the tag winners are Bronson Reed and somebody else, and maybe Braun wins IC title. That would be insane, but we'll see on that. That means he's a 3x IC title winner, so we'll see. Dark horse, the Usos want them back, and I think WWE wants them back. Could see them with tag titles to help bolster a division. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.